My brother said losing a leg wasn't a valid excuse to miss his wedding. My brother always said I never showed up for the important things in his life, but it was never on purpose. The first time I missed something big was his state championship game, since I ended up stuck at work when my car broke down. The next was his college graduation, and from then on, the running joke was I'd find a way to let him down on his wedding day too. Well, a month before the wedding, I got into a brutal accident driving home. I blacked out and woke up days later in the ICU. My mom was sitting at my bedside holding my hand, and my dad looked like he'd aged 10 years in a week. I tried to sit up and felt something wrong, and when I looked down, I saw the empty space where my leg used to be. The doctor said I should be grateful I survived, but all I could do was stare and think about everything I just lost. The first few days after the accident, I barely spoke. I just slept and stared at the ceiling, not thinking about anything except the pain. I told my mom I couldn't go to the wedding, and she called my brother to explain, hoping he'd understand. He didn't. He blew up my phone, and when I answered, I could hear his annoyance as he asked, "You're still coming, right? I need you up there next to me." I tried to explain that I could barely even sit up, that I was still learning how to walk with a crutch, but he cut me off and started getting louder. "Don't make this about you. This is my wedding. I've only got one best man, and I want you there. You always bail on the important stuff." I said I was sorry, that I wanted to be there, but didn't think I could do it. He went quiet for a second. Then he said, "It's not like you lost both your legs. You're still alive, so you can tough it out for a day." He kept telling me how the family would talk, how he needed me to pull through just this once, how I shouldn't check out just because things got a little hard. I told him I couldn't talk anymore and hung up hoping he'd give it up, but the calls and texts kept coming. First from him, then my mom, then my aunt. It was all, "Try to be there for your brother, and don't make a scene, and everyone's expecting you." The guilt built up. I could barely get through a shower without crying, but I said yes, just to get everyone off my back. I texted my brother I would show up for the ceremony, but that was it, and he texted back a series of celebratory emojis. The morning of the wedding, I let my dad help me into the suit pants I hated, balancing on a prosthetic that still felt like a stranger attached to my body. My brother barely looked at me when we got to the venue. I asked if I could sit near the aisle so I could leave early if I needed to. He said, "No, you're my best man and need to be by me. Stop being a baby and get over losing your leg." When the ceremony got going, I just tried to breathe and not think of my leg, but I had never stood on it for this long, so I randomly got this wave of pain that was insufferable, and the longer I stood there, the worse it got. I could feel the sweat building on my hands and my knees starting to lock up, even as I did my best to act normal. The officiant then started on the vows, and my brother was all smiles for the crowd, but the only thing I could think about was how the pain kept getting sharper, and how I had to tense every muscle just to stay upright, almost like I was waiting for something bad to happen. Then everything got weird all of a sudden, with my vision blurring and my ears ringing, and then it just felt like the floor dropped out and I was going down whether I wanted to or not. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground at my brother's feet, and I could hear people gasping and shuffling all around me. I could see my mom rushing over while someone in the back started yelling for help, and my brother just staring down at me with this tight look on his face, not moving, not saying anything, while I tried my hardest not to completely lose it in front of everybody. I woke up again at the hospital, and when I checked my phone, I saw multiple messages from my brother. He wasn't asking if I was okay, though. He wrote, "You couldn't hold it together for one day, could you? You always have to make it about yourself. You ruined the most important day of my life. I hope you're happy." I read the message again and realized how selfish he sounded and how sick I was of the guilt tripping. I didn't bother replying. I just blocked him.